Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. I'm going to do a little fireside chat with you today and in front of the Christmas tree, in front of my very favorite ornament, our little bacon friend. We used to have 3 of these little bacon friends that all had different facial expressions, and sadly 2 of them have broken or got lost, and this is the last one that's still standing. I absolutely love it. Anyways, so you can enjoy Bacon Friend back here while I'm talking. So a few days ago, Dr. Barry put out a video about Sibo, and as soon as he put that video out, I started getting messages from people, so many people sending me the video and letting me know that it was posted. So in case anyone is curious, I do follow Dr. Barry on YouTube and on Instagram, and so I see when he posts stuff, so I definitely saw the video. And I just thought I would chat a little bit about my thoughts about the video and kind of talk a little bit more about why I have chosen to approach my Sibo diagnosis the way that I have. So first off, if you have not seen Dr. Barry's video on Sibo, I definitely recommend it. I will put it up in the cards. So first off, I love Dr. Barry. I think he is providing such an incredible service to the world, to anyone who watches YouTube, of just getting like the big E on the eye chart when it comes to all kinds of different health conditions. If you go and watch his videos, he has videos on all different health conditions. And you'll notice if you start watching a few of them, that they have a theme. He does give some specifics for different conditions, but if you just try to pick out the theme of all of the videos, if you eat the proper human diet, this condition will improve. If you eat the foods that are nutritious and appropriate for humans, these conditions are going to start to get better. And I think he could spend the rest of his life making videos just pointing out that big E on the eye chart, and he will be doing a huge service to the world. Getting nutrition and diet dialed in is going to have such a profound effect on every single different condition out there. Like, I am convinced of that, and I think that his approach in trying to just keep it simple and just get that taken care of. And that's just going to cover so many bases right off the bat. So big picture, that's how I feel about Dr. Barry. I love his work. I think it's incredibly valuable. And I 100% agree, getting the nutrition dialed in should be the first thing. And then after that, we can deal with all the other stuff, but that's going to be so helpful just to get the nutrition taken care of, that let's just start there. So now into the video itself. First off, the title. So in the title, he says something about curing Sibo in 2 weeks. Now, I think that title is somewhat clickbait, because I don't think there is a study or any evidence that Dr. Barry can point to, and of course, I'm willing to be wrong about this. I would love to see it if it exists, but I don't think there's any studies or any evidence that will point to being able to eradicate Sibo in 2 weeks on a carnivore diet, which is basically what he's promoting in the video. A carnivore diet for 2 weeks, I don't think is going to cure Sibo. There was one very small study done where they used a carnivore diet to fight Sibo, and it was more like 4 to 6 weeks that the participants used. And again, it was a very, very small study, so more studies need to be done, more research needs to be done to see if that's really a valid approach in curing Sibo, as in you have a positive Sibo test where you have bacteria in the wrong place in your digestive system, and you go on a carnivore diet for however long, and then you're able to actually test negative. And the test, yes, includes lactulose or glucose or fructose, some kind of sugar, but that is just to show if the bacteria is still in that wrong place. So the title, I think, is clickbait. I don't actually think that Dr. Barry is saying that you could go on a carnivore diet for 2 weeks and then take a lactulose breath test and get a Sibo negative test. Now, what he actually says in the video is that in 2 weeks, you can have reduced or eliminated symptoms of Sibo. And that I 100% agree with. One thing that I have loved about my dabbling in the carnivore diet is that I have felt empowered with the digestive symptoms that I do have. I have felt empowered that I am in control of them and I am not at the mercy of them. Anytime that I want to, I can go further towards carnivore and my symptoms go away. Like, I can get to where I have no digestive issues whatsoever. So I think that's a super valuable thing, especially for people who have been struggling with IBS, that is caused by Sibo or not. And they just feel like they're at the mercy of this, where they don't have any control over their digestive system. I think the carnivore diet gives that control to people, and I think that's super valuable. Now for me, I have gotten my diet to the point where I can control my symptoms. I can eat a diet that's pretty much meat-based, with a few other things that I tolerate well, and I can control my symptoms. That's no problem for me. The issue that I found that I had, though, is that I was not absorbing iron from my diet. Even though I was eating a very high meat, animal foods diet, I was not absorbing iron from it. And I don't know 100% that Sibo is causing that, but because of the positive Sibo diagnosis, it seemed the most likely to me. It seemed to make sense that I should pursue killing Sibo in order to get my body to be able to absorb the iron and keep my iron at a healthy level. So in my experience, what I found is that keeping my body and my digestion symptom free was not enough to mitigate the other underlying effects of the Sibo. So while going to a proper human diet or a carnivore diet helps with the symptoms 100%, I didn't think that that was going to be my answer in actually eradicating the Sibo and getting my body to absorb nutrients the way it was supposed to. I'll also throw in here that the study that was done on using the carnivore diet to eradicate Sibo, it was a very, very strict form of the carnivore diet. I don't believe they were able to have spices, things like garlic and onion. That stuff, if you do have Sibo, it can continue to feed it and not starve it out. So just going on a proper human diet, unless you're going like all the way to meat, salt, and water, maybe BBBE would be enough as long as you're not having any of the spices. Maybe that could be enough to actually eradicate Sibo. But again, there's going to have to be a lot of study on that because it's just a hypothesis at this point. It's not proven. Also, when you go on a low FODMAP diet or, just taking away the things that are causing symptoms, you can actually cause the bacteria to go into hibernation. So instead of actually killing it, it just goes to sleep. And so as soon as you eat something that, feeds it again, it's there. It never went away. It just went to sleep. And so I see this as a very common thing with people on the carnivore diet, where if they're on the carnivore diet for a length of time, and I experienced this too, because I did a full carnivore diet for 3 months, and I experienced that after that time, trying to add anything back in, my body went nuts. And my reaction seemed like it was worse than before. And there could be a lot of reasons for this. Your gut microbiome, adjusting and just needing to build up the different enzymes for your body to absorb and break down different things that you're not used to. But for me, I think that part of the issue was I got great symptom relief from going carnivore, but I didn't actually take care of the problem. I just put it to sleep. And so trying to add anything back in caused the problems to come back. And this seems to be a really common thing in the carnivore world. People don't typically, and there are some exceptions, but it's not normal for people to use the carnivore diet to heal certain things and then be able to add stuff back in. It seems like the further you go into carnivore, for a lot of people, not all, but the further you go into carnivore, the more you have to stay carnivore in order to keep your symptoms from coming back. And that's a great approach if you're wanting to be carnivore for the rest of your life. I think that's great. I think there's lots of people that have chosen that and that love that and are thriving with that, and it works with them and their lifestyle and their past experience with food addiction and stuff like that, where they're just ready to like put all the other food to the side and not even think about it for the rest of their lives. They're ready to do that. And I would never disparage anyone from choosing that if that's the life choice that they want to make. For me, that's not the direction that I want to go unless I have to. I love food. I love variety. I want my diet to be as diverse as possible while keeping my health under control. So I have chosen not to go down the route at this point. Could change in the future, but I have decided at this point not to go down the route of deciding to be carnivore for the rest of my life in order to control my symptoms. I want to see if I can actually affect my body in such a way that I don't respond so badly to certain things. I want to be able to eat vegetables in my normal everyday diet. I want to be able to use all different kinds of ingredients to make my diet and my lifestyle fun and exciting. And I want to see if I can do that with a body that responds better. So just as an example, I was reminded of this recently. Last year, I made a video about keto truffles because every year we make truffles. I make truffles with the kids. We give them out as gifts. Fun times for everyone. And I wanted to make a keto version. And so Lily's chocolate chips are the most readily available, and they have chicory root or inulin in them. And I remember I made a batch of those last year, and I ate a few and I felt terrible. I had the digestive response that I typically had with eating any kind of inulin. Not fun, not something I wanted to experience anymore. They sat in the freezer for like 2 months, and finally I just threw them away because I could not eat them without feeling awful. It is truffle time again now though, and I actually picked up some of Lily's chocolate chips in order to make some keto truffles for some people. And I was like, I have been on this Sibo protocol for quite a while now. I'm curious how my body would respond to these chocolate chips and to the inulin in them. So over like 3 days, I had some Lily's chocolate chips every day. My response was so different than it was a year ago. I could not believe it. Like I was waiting for the other shoe to drop. I can't say I had zero response, but the difference in severity from last year was vast. I am at the point where I think I could eat them in moderation probably every day and not have a digestive issue. So that is huge to me. That like adds something else to my diet that I can include for variety, for fun, to make, recipes more interesting. And I think that's a clue that my body is getting healthier. I'm not there yet. I still have work to do, but I was really, really encouraged by how my body has changed in order to be able to actually handle some of these things. Of course, it's always going to be a balance of what things are worth adding back in and not, and what things are going to move me further away from health. Like just because my body handles it digestively now, does that mean that I should be adding it into my diet every single day? Would that end up being detrimental? So there's like this balancing act. It is complicated to figure all of this stuff out. I did a video last year at some point, or maybe earlier this year, that was just titled, I think it was something like carnivore would be simpler or something like that. And I totally think that carnivore would be simpler. It is so, not that it's an easy thing to do and to make that commitment, but just the whole diet itself is just, the concept is simple. And you don't have to weigh all of these things and try to figure it all out. But I'm at the place where I'm not willing to go carnivore for the rest of my life. And having food variety is valuable enough to me at this point that I'm willing to put in the work to try to figure it out and to try to, instead of just taking away everything that causes me symptoms, to try to work meticulously on my body and my health in such a way that I get myself to the point where certain things just don't cause me symptoms. I was thinking about my son's egg allergy. He has a very severe reaction anytime he eats anything with even the tiniest amount of eggs. He's vomiting for hours. It's horrible. So what we do with him is we take the eggs out. He does not eat eggs, at least not on purpose. And I didn't cure his egg allergy by taking away the eggs that caused his symptoms. I simply took away the trigger to his allergy. So that's kind of the difference. Taking away the trigger or actually healing it so it's no longer a trigger. And if there was a way for me to heal my son's allergies so eggs were no longer a trigger, I absolutely would put in the work and time and energy to figure that out. So far, we have not found that option available to us. I know there's different ways that you can try to sensitize people that have allergies and stuff. I have looked into that, but his reaction is so severe that we have not gone that route yet, because even the tiniest little bit of egg just sets him off. Anyways, this is not about his egg allergy, but I just thought it was a good example. I could cure him, not really, by taking away the trigger, or if there was some way that he could actually be cured so that he could eat eggs and not be triggered, I would choose that first. So anyways, I hope this is helpful. I'm not trying to convince anybody. Basically what I'm doing in this video is just sharing my own thoughts and what I have had to work through in order to come to the place I'm at right now and the approach that I have taken to address my Sibo. And I always like to say that I may feel differently in the future. Maybe 6 months, a year down the road, I decide that what I was trying to do, healing the triggers, didn't work, and my only option is to go 100% carnivore. That is totally possible. But what I have tried to articulate in this video is where I'm at right now and why I have chosen the approach that I have chosen. And I'm not saying that anyone else should choose the same approach that I have. This is just me talking about myself and about why I have chosen what I have chosen. So anyways, that is it for this video. Thank you for listening. I love Dr. Barry. I love what he is doing for people. I love that he is just getting everyone back to the big E on the eye chart, that if you don't have that figured out, trying to deal with all of these other things is going to almost be like an exercise in futility. Like, get the nutrition figured out. I hope he continues to yell that from the rooftops for as long as he has breath to do it. Thanks so much for hanging out with me by the fire. I need to go add another log, and everyone say goodbye to our bacon friend. Hope you guys are doing great, and I will see you again in the next video.